Assalamualaikum and hi to my lecturer and my supervisor. My name is Norna Shita binti Syamsul Bahari, number metric 822A0947. And today, I would like to present my industrial training experience as MS Wong & Co., a member firm under Grand Teton, Malaysia. I complete my internship for 1 year in the audit department as an audit intern. Throughout this internship, I gained valuable practical exposure, developed technical and professional skills, and experienced the real working environment of the auditing profession. MS Wong & Co. is a professional audit firm under Grand Teton, Malaysia. The firm provides various professional services such as statutory audit, taxation, accounting, and company secretary service. As part of Grand Teton's network, the firm serves clients from different industries and maintains professional standards in all engagements. This allows me to gain exposure to a variety of business and understand how auditing is applied in different situations. Audit is a process of examining a company financial statement to determine whether they present a true and fair view of company's financial position and performance. The main objective of an audit are to provide assurance to stakeholders, ensure that financial statements are free from material misstatement, and ensure they comply with accounting standards and legal requirements. Before joining the firm, I only understood audit from a theoretical perspective. However, during my internship, I was able to see how audit procedures are actually performed and how auditors make professional judgment based on evidence collected. During my internship, I assist audit senior and manager in various audit engagements. My responsibilities include preparing audit working paper, performing substantive testing, reviewing supporting documents, preparing lead schedule, carrying out reconciliation, performing vouching procedure, and assisting in completion of audit file. I also communicate directly with clients to request document and follow up on outstanding audit matter. This responsibility helped me understand the complete audit process and how different audit procedures contribute to overall audit opinion. The primary objective of my internship was to gain practical exposure to real audit engagement. I want to apply accounting and auditing knowledge learned in class to actual business situation. In addition, I aim to improve my communication skills, professional behavior, critical thinking, and technical competencies. One thing I truly appreciate was that my manager intentionally exposed me to clients from different industries and business background. This allowed me to gain broader experience and understand that every client has different operation, different risks, and audit challenge. One important competency that I developed was professionalism and ethics. As auditors, we are entrusted with confidential financial information belonging to clients. Therefore, maintaining confidentiality and integrity is essential. Throughout my internship, I followed the firm's audit procedure and professional standards while ensuring that client information remained confidential. I also learned how to communicate professionally with clients, colleagues, and superiors. There were situations where clients responded differently or had difficulties providing request documents. However, I learned to remain respectful, patient, and professional at all times. This experience trained my ethical awareness, professional judgment, and sense of responsibility. During my internship, I frequently review financial statements and verify account balance against supporting documents. I also perform analytical review procedure to identify unusual fluctuations and relationship between financial statement items. This task enhanced my understanding of financial reporting and accounting treatment. Instead of simply looking at numbers, I learned to understand the story behind the figure and assess whether the transactions were reasonable and properly recorded. This experience improved my financial statement analysis skills and my ability to evaluate accounting treatment critically. Audit and assurance was the competency that I developed the most during my internship. My responsibilities include vouching transactions, reviewing debtor and creditor, checking bank confirmation, testing revenue and expense, and examining supporting documents. I was also involved in many field audits at client premise. Some clients had a large volume of documents and they prefer auditor to conduct audit work at their office rather than sending all the documents to us. Personally, I enjoy this field visit because the working environment changed from one client to another, making the experience more interesting and less repetitive. Sometimes I was fortunate to be assigned to clients located near my house, but most of the time the client sites were quite far away. Another important lesson I learned was the importance of attention to detail. Many documents contain lane reference numbers, invoice, and supporting schedule. As auditor, we must carefully examine these documents because even small detail can affect our conclusions. I was also realized that auditor must always remain curious and exercise professional skepticism. Whenever information was incomplete or documents were missing, I had to ask questions and continue investigating until I fully understood the transaction. In addition, I was involved in audit procedure that required the assessment of estimate prepared by management. This was one of the most challenging areas because estimates involve assumptions about future events. Sometimes there were differences between our expectation and client calculations. Although the variances were not material, auditors still need to determine whether management assumptions are reasonable based on logic and available evidence. This experience helped me understand that auditing is not only about calculations, but also about professional judgment. Communication and teamwork play a significant role throughout my internship. I regularly communicate with clients to request audit documents and follow up on outstanding matters. This was challenging because every client has a different personality, communication style, and level of cooperation. Therefore, I learned how to adapt my communication approach while remaining professional. I also experienced clients who were very cooperative, which made audit work much smoother. When clients respond quickly and provide clear explanation, we could complete audit procedure more efficiently. I also work closely with audit senior and manager on different assignments. Whenever I encounter problems or uncertainties, I discuss with them, which is my team, and I learn from their experience. These interactions improve my communication skills, teamwork, abilities, and confidence in handling professional relationships. My internship significantly improved my technical and digital skills. The software that I frequently use include Audit Express, Insight, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and Document Management System. At first, I found Insight system quite challenging. I was unsure where to click, how to generate document, how to do adjustment, grouping, and workflow process. However, with guidance from seniors, I gradually learned the full flow from planning stage up to report generation. The guidance helped me understand the proper audit workflow more clearly and confidently. To be honest, before my internship, I was not very confident even with formatting documents properly. Adjusting layout, alignment, and report format often took me a long time. However, because audit work require proper documentation and presentation, I gradually become more comfortable and efficient. I also learned to use Excel functions such as sum, if, round down, which were actually extremely useful in audit calculation and reconciliation. As a result, I become more productive and confident in handling audit documentation and data analysis. Looking back on my internship journey, I learned many valuable lessons. One of the biggest challenges was dealing with incomplete documentation. There were situations where clients could not provide the document request for audit purpose. As an intern, this sometimes made me unsure about what to do next. I often question myself whether remark was sufficient, whether alternative document could be accepted, or whether additional audit procedure were required. In such situation, I learned the importance of discussing issue with senior and manager while understanding the objective behind each audit procedure. In fieldwork, some clients had very large document files. It took time to understand their filing patterns and structure. However, once I understood the pattern, retrieving document became more easier as everything was well organized. There were also clients who provide both soft copy and hard copy document. This required clear communication because some soft copy documents could only be accessed directly from their system. Therefore, coordination with client was very important to ensure complete audit evidence. Another challenge was learning to think like an auditor. Initially, I focused mainly on completing the assigned tasks. However, over time, I realized that auditor must not simply accept information without question. We must understand the purpose of the transaction, assess whether the evidence is sufficient, and determine whether the explanation provided is reasonable. There were also occasions when I made mistakes. Of course, whenever that happened, I viewed the experience as a learning opportunity. I will identify the cause of the error, seek evidence from my manager, and learn how to improve my approach in future assignment. This helped me become more careful and develop stronger problem-solving skills. Managing deadlines was another challenge. This was very frustrating because audit engagement often involves strict timelines, and delay may affect clients and potential expose them to penalties. Therefore, I learned the importance of prioritization, time management, and working efficiently under pressure. Overall, this internship really transformed my understanding of auditing profession. Initially, I thought auditing was mainly about tracking documents and performing calculation. However, throughout my internship, I realized that auditing is actually about understanding business, evaluate evidence, and exercising professional judgment, and maintaining professional skepticism before reaching a conclusion. This experience has strengthened my technical knowledge, communication skills, confidence, and professional mindset. It has also reinforced my interest in pursuing a career in auditing and accounting in the future. And that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I will be happy to answer any question from you.